everybody, this week on ANN Youth Kids, we're going to be talking about Russia possibly invading Ukraine, Mexico truck crash, South Korea island plan, and coronavirus statistics. The country of the week is Chile, and the extra fun segment is all about riddles. In the Spiritual Curious segment, we are interviewing Padmasini Dayananda, and she is the head of volunteering for social impact in Cognizant in the UK. I really hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment below because we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Russia will face severe economic consequences if they happen to invade Ukraine. They have already placed many troops on Ukraine's border, but they have denied any plans to invade Ukraine. Many countries, such as the US and G7 countries, have warned Russia that invading would be a bad idea, including the Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, who said that it would be a strategic mistake. In Mexico, at least 54 people died and many more injured after a truck crashed. This truck had 150 people crammed in the trailer, and these were migrants from Central America, mostly from Guatemala. Mexico has not had such a bad truck accident with so many people dying since 2010. South Korea has designed and planned the city of Busan. It's supposed to be a floating city that is resistant to floods. It's a collaboration between engineers, designers, and architects, as well as UN Habitat and Busan. UN Habitat is the United Nations Agency for Urban Development. The building of the first neighborhood will begin next year, and the plan is to have many 1,650 people neighborhoods interconnected. Coronavirus cases are still increasing. There are about 270 million coronavirus cases worldwide, 5.3 million deaths, and 243 million recoveries. Deaths are staying the same since October. With the arrival of the new Omicron variant, many countries are putting some stricter borders, even though it's not as severe. The top 5 countries with the most coronavirus cases are USA, India, Brazil, UK, and Russia. And the top 5 countries with the most coronavirus deaths are USA, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Russia. Hi everybody, this week for the 40th Spiritual Courier segment, we are talking to Padmasini Dayananda, who is the head of volunteering-led social impact in Cognizant in the UK. She was also in the top 100 women for business in the UK in 2020. I really hope you enjoyed because she has amazing advice and insights and her journey is incredible. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Padmasini and I'm the Global Head of ESG Outreach for Cognizant. Now, what is ESG and outreach? ESG is environment, society, and social and governance. And we look at how we make the whole world more sustainable in simple terms. That is, we're talking about climate change, we're talking about water resources. So basically, how do we make things last for the next generation, basically save Earth? Now, in that, I focus on the social aspect of the ESG, which is about how do we make social impact or make changes in the society, which makes it fair and it gives equal opportunities and bridges the gaps, basically. So that's what I do. But I'm an engineer by qualification, an electronics and communication engineer. And I started my career in India 20 years back with Cognizant. And 18 years, I was predominantly in a technology role. I used to be part of quality engineering and assurance. I did a little bit of business development. I did transformations. So I had a very interesting career path. And then in 2018, I got the opportunity to follow my purpose. So I've always felt strongly towards contributing towards the community. And this was like connecting those aspects of my skills that I had and how I could apply it to making a difference in the society. So since 2018, I took on this role. And that's been my journey. So now I enjoy what I do, and I apply all of my engineering, my business experience in doing that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And can you tell us more about what you do from your day-to-day work?
In simple terms, what I do is I look at what are the major problems in the community. So there are loads of problems, right? We can have health issues, you can have social issues, you can have educational issues. So we look at what are the aspects that we can actually help, where do we have our skills match. And since Cognizant is a technology company, and we do hire, and technology is the future of work, and everything that we do, there's an aspect of technology. But the education system in itself is not moving at the same space. There's a gap between what the future market of careers need versus what is being taught in schools. At the same time, there's a gap in the opportunity. So some children have more access to technology, more access to opportunities. Some don't know what opportunities are there or how the technology is changing. So we in Outreach focus on how to bring inclusion in tech, that is, make tech available to everyone. So my regular day starts off with, this is with inclusion in tech. Who are the beneficiaries we want to work with? So we look at primary schools, secondary schools, then we look at what are the programs we have or some programs that we need to design, which will help those beneficiaries. And then we generate volunteers. So that is, Outreach is basically a volunteering-led social impact program, which means the 300,000 employees of Cognizant, we inspire them to spend their personal time to help people. So that means we need to make it as easy as possible. So we need to give them the content. We need them to see our vision, so they also feel inspired. So it's about talking and contacting various groups of people, telling them the opportunities that's available and how they can make a difference. So there are different aspects. So one is finding people who need the help, then finding people who can help, and then providing the content that will actually bridge them so they can actually deliver the help. And we do this across school students, we do it for women, we do it for migrants, we do it with elderly people. So we do the complete aspects. So we focus on how in this generation of school students are well equipped to be adapting to the technological demands of the markets in future.
Wow.
Thank you.
And how did COVID-19 affect what you do?
So COVID-19 expedited the entire dependency on technology. Right, so including you, right? You're doing virtual schooling. For all children who never thought they would be spending so much time in front of the computers, you are learning everything online. Similarly, we had to convert all our programs virtual. So we used to do a lot of in-person volunteering. We used to go into schools, we used to go into elderly care homes, we used to go and plant trees, we used to clean up beaches. And over the last 2 years, we had to offer the same kind of impact, but virtually. So it was redesigning our programs and addressing some immediate challenges, right? So during COVID, we realized that many students didn't have access to laptops and devices, whereas large companies like Cognizant, we have so many laptops which reach the end of warranty and they need to be they go into e-waste. So we said, can we recycle them and refurbish them and donate it to students who don't have it? We also realized that there was some kind of technology platform required when people were isolating. There was no way they could connect with people who are ready to help. There are lots of people wanted to help, right? They were providing food, they were collecting medicines, they were driving up to do dog walking. So, but how do these two people meet, right? Those who need help and those who want to help. So we built a platform called Cognizant Assist in about 4 weeks' time, which allows people to connect over the phone and say, I need dinner, I'm in isolation. And somebody looks at it and says, oh, I live nearby, I'll go collect dinner for them. So that platform got implemented globally across 10 charities. So different ways of addressing the gap. So one is the opportunity gap of making devices available. One is providing virtual work experience. So I'm sure many of you would have heard that when you reach 15 or 16, you need to have a summer work experience program to help for your personal statement when you go into universities. But many students didn't have that because all the offices went virtual. So that means this generation or that particular year group of students would be at a disadvantage when they go into universities. So we created a virtual work experience program. So it ran for 6 weeks and we ran them through 24 topics by content delivered by volunteers on everything significant from digital to workplace, soft skills, how to use LinkedIn, all of the aspects. Right? So that's what we did. And now we realize that what we did to address the pandemic has actually opened up new avenues. What means is now we don't have to be restricted by geographies. Today I'm talking to you, you're able to interview me from Mauritius. We wouldn't have thought about it before the pandemic, right? You look local, we try to do everything within your community. So now we deliver programs globally. So if we have a need in Netherlands, we don't have to have a volunteer for Netherlands. If the skill set is based in Portugal, where a Portuguese volunteer could conduct a session for school in Netherlands if required. So that is what has helped in expediting and expanding what we were already delivering.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So in many ways, the pandemic has helped, but has also taken it down.
Yeah.
And what has been your journey so far? I know you explained a bit at the beginning, but a little bit more, if you could.
So as I said, I started off as a campus recruit. So I was hired by Cognizant when they come into campuses fresh when you're in your final year of engineering. So I'm from Pondicherry Engineering College. And at that point, you're not really sure what you want to do, but the company has offered you a job. So you're quite excited. And I am in the same place many students are now. Like I didn't know what a IT job would mean. I thought it's just going to be coding. And I said, oh, I don't like coding. I like working with people. So I'm not going to stay in this job for very long. I'm going to do something else. But in the first 6 to 8 months, I realized how much teamwork happens within any technology company, right? If to get one piece of code out, there is so many people involved. You talk to them, we work late. We face challenges, we solve problems, and I absolutely loved it. So after about 8 months, I moved to the US and I was leading a team. I was a tester in the US and I enjoyed being a tester because at that point it was all like, oh, you're not doing coding. That's not, you're just testing. What's the big deal about it? You're an engineer, you should be coding. There are a lot of biases in your mind. But I absolutely loved testing because it was actually thinking of how to break the code. Right, so you developers think a lot about how they build it, and then I need to know which are the ways an end user is going to use that system to break it. And and for that I need to understand the entire landscape. So I love that aspect of thinking big, thinking end to end, thinking from the business point of view, and it helped me understand the business. So that is how my career started. Went on to be a team lead and then a team manager, and having developed the experience, I started doing some consulting. So consulting is where you go and help clients design how they want to do their testing. How does the team setup look like? Do you need to have somebody in India or do we need somebody locally? What kinds of testing do you need for a particular product? So that was very interesting. So I did that for a bit, and that helped me travel across. So I traveled to UK, did some in US. I was predominantly based in India. And then I went on to do business development. So our business development is where you get more new clients for the company, which means you have to compete with your other organizations for the same piece of work. And it is about thinking differently, putting together a solution that the client can relate to, and then presenting it to the client and impressing them in terms of saying, yes, we understand what you do. And so I absolutely enjoyed that. Very hard work, long hours, because it's very competitive, time bound. So did that. And then I went on to do transformation, which is basically setting up a complete center of excellence for testing in India for a large client. So I had a 120 member team, which we set up and built. And so that was exciting. I'm a people person, so working with 200 people in one floor brings that kind of energy, and I used to enjoy that. Then I moved to UK. And when I moved to the UK, I went on to do some program delivery for that's a bank. And post that, I went into marketing or sales and marketing or you could say business development for a product that we developed within testing. So that was covering all of Europe. So it was interesting. I had to travel across Europe for a 1 hour meeting, right? So fly out in the morning, go to Copenhagen, do a presentation, stay one night, come back. So I really used to enjoy traveling. I'm saying used to because most people now don't like traveling because of the pandemic, but also I had a second baby, and then it became harder to leave the little one and travel. So after that, so that has been my trust. So all of these experiences traversed, and I built it, understood what the community needs, what the business skills we have, and I transferred that into what I do into outreach. So that's been my career journey. But what was fascinating is that after my 18 years of doing technology, but I got recognized as a Tech Woman 100 2020 for the role I do for outreach. So it's about how I use technology to drive social change. So that was a very gratifying moment, because it clearly shows that when you do what you love is when recognition follows. So I didn't expect, I was doing just something I absolutely enjoyed, and it was recognized and acknowledged by the industry. So that was a big moment. And I always encourage people to go for what you love.
Wow. And what do you like most about your job? You mentioned that you're a people person, but is there anything else?
Yeah, that's a long list of what I love. This job empowers me to drive social change, which I can't do on my own. So I have the resources of my company, which is the skill. I have the people who are skilled. We have the network, which is global. So we operate in 36 countries. And we have the finance to make those changes. So it's basically like I'm one woman, but I've got all these avatars helping, right? Like I have 8 arms to do what I love doing, which is empowered. So I feel extremely empowered in what I do, and I can see the benefits, right? Where I can, the happiness when children get to attend an event, or when some charity gets an application which they couldn't do before and we're able to do it. So the impact and the satisfaction from the people who benefited, that really gives me the happiness and gives me meaning in what I do.
Wow, that's amazing. And what is your advice to kids other than do what you love?
So when you get your opportunity, like when I was given engineer, when I got my first job, I went in with some prejudices and biases, right? It's saying, oh, this work is like this, so I will not like it. Rather, you go in. But what I did was, I'm going to spend 6 months, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to learn this particular job that has been given. So that is what helps. Every opportunity, grab it. You don't have to be good at it. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to know everything. But if an opportunity comes, step into it and experience it. Use it to learn, right? Unless you learn and move, and then you realize, okay, maybe this is not for me, but I've learned a skill, and now I move to the next one. So we're moving into a gig economy or a gig job market, which is basically you'll be trying different kinds of jobs, where unlike maybe our generation, even the previous generation, where they would do 30 years of service. I think you're going into a place where it will be, oh, I like this, I do this for 2 years, this is doing great, but I'm going to do something else. So, and the attitude to learning, constantly ready to learn and take opportunities and take risk. So, but the risk has to be weighed down by your learning and your ability to, not feel like a failure. Don't measure yourself with how you do in that opportunity. So if you went in, oh, I really didn't do well in this, gosh, I'm not good at this. That's not, I'm not good at this, but I've learned this, let me do the next one. So the attitude to learning and the ability to pick yourself and do the next thing, that's very important. And that's what keeps you going. Even for us, all the roles I told you about, I did a certification at every role, right? Because when I was doing that, I wanted to be really good at it. I wanted to be thorough. So if you see my LinkedIn profile, you'll see all the certifications which progress through the time. And every year I plan what is it I'm going to learn this year. So I have a learning target for myself, and the organization also has. So that is important as students. Please take the opportunities that come your way. If there's an exhibition, there is a webinar, the school brings somebody to speak to, go to it with an open mind. And you never know when the magic happens.
Wow, that is really amazing. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you so much, and all the best. I look forward to, I'm following your YouTube channel, so let's keep it up.
Le Chili est un pays d'Amérique du Sud. Sa capitale est Santiago et sa population est de 19 millions d'habitants. Le Chili a le plus grand bâtiment d'Amérique du Sud qui s'appelle le Grand Tour, avec 62 étages. Le désert d'Atacama est le plus sec désert au monde. Le pluie moyen chaque année est de 0,6 pouces. Le plus grand tremblement de terre dans le monde était en Chili. Les plus vieilles momies sont trouvées au Chili. Il est possible de voir des pingouins dans le Chili. La plus haute montagne volcanique du monde est au Chili. Le Chili possède l'un des 2 bases civiles permanentes en Antarctique. Elle s'appelle Villa Les Estrellas. Hi everybody, for the extra fun segment this week, I'm going to be talking about riddles. I hope you enjoy. You measure my life in hours. I serve you by expiring. I am fast when I'm thin, and I'm slow when I'm fat. The wind is my enemy. What am I? A candle. I have cities but no houses. I have mountains but no trees. I have rivers but no fish. What am I? A map. What word in the English language signifies the following? The first 2 letters are for a male. The first 3 are for a female. The first 4 mean great. And the whole word is used for a female who's great. Heroine. What disappears as soon as you say its name? Silence. What gets wet while drying? A towel. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? The person who makes it has no use for it. The person who buys it does not use it. And the person who is using it doesn't know that they are using it. What am I? A coffin. I really hope you enjoyed these riddles.